Hello everyone, welcome back to Guadalajara. After our brief introduction, you've just seen Pia in that lovely white dress. Stands out very well against the marvellous Adidas court here in the Domo Conde Arena here in Guadalajara. All ready for our opening match of the session. New York Atlantics against the Houston Volts, and that means Ksenia Sharifova and Carolina Orsi taking on the two Martas, Marta Barrera and Marta Caparros. Carolina Orsi, very experienced Italian player, the top-ranked Italian in world paddle. So got a graduate in sporting business management, and she's partnered by Ksenia Sharifova, a player who's really climbed the rankings over the last year. Showed glimpses of what she is capable of yesterday morning, then just had a little, one of those moments that sometimes affects players, isn't it? 3 or 4 points, a little bit of bad luck, a couple of bad shots, just got under her skin, and maybe that was one of the factors in the fact that the Atlantics ended up just slipping to defeat yesterday against the Polar Bears.
Yes, good morning everybody. Thank you for joining us this morning on our live transmission, day 3 here in Guadalajara. First game of the morning sees New York play Houston, and we're just looking at the two Martas. There's Marta Barrera, hugely impressive for the Volts in the opening game.
Yeah, Marta, great first set, maybe not quite as good in the second, but when the two Martas, let's not forget, third place in San Sebastian. So if they win again today, they'll, I suspect we will see them on podium day.
Yeah, they were impressive. I think Barrera was the one who shone for me in that opening game. Always seemed to be in control. But again, they're a player who work well together. There's a nice harmony, a nice understanding. Both girls hailing from the Andalusia region, so there's that Andaluz connection. And it will be interesting to see how they shape up against Ksenia Sharifova and Carolina Orsi. With the match getting underway just in a matter of minutes. It's the first game on day 3. 4 matches of 8 games coming up during the course of Saturday's action. Just to run through the schedule once again, it's New York against Houston opening the games, Vegas against the Beat, and then we'll take a brief break and the action will return with that Florida derby that Paul alluded to early on as Miami take on the Flow Rider Goats from Orlando. And then to wrap things up in the evening, it's the Toronto Polar Bears, who will not be in New York, I think it's fair to say, at this stage, Paul.
We don't think so, but if they win both, we won't really know until we see who gets the podium day, who does what on podium day. The final the top 10, we won't really know the joint qualification until the end of our podium day tomorrow.
There's so much speculation, there's so much conjuncture, and anything can happen. And again, once again, when the action wraps up, the final scores will be fed into the machine, and we will bring you the final scoreboard and see who has made the cut, who is in and who is out.
Yeah, we've got some tech geniuses here. We'll have it all sorted out for you. So stick with us tomorrow. Once again, everything underway at the same time. 11 a.m. 3rd and 4th place matches. Every 11 a.m. Guadalajara time. No earlier than, is it 2 p.m. The finals, I suspect it might be a little bit later than 2 p.m. but make sure the best way to make sure is just to watch all day, really. Short session tomorrow, just the 7 hours or so. And our prize giving, and then we'll know who we will be on the ticket to New York. And, you know, the Atlantics, as we say, Sharifova, Orsi, Russia, Italy, Tello, Argentina, Campagnolo, Brazil. Very cosmopolitan team. No Jean Sanz this time, and Ari Sanchez, who I'm pretty sure will be back with us in the final. Just starting to slowly fill up here. It's been I have to say, Englishman talking about the weather again, it's been a horrible morning in Guadalajara. The mist was hanging low over the valleys between the hills, wasn't it, Paul? And then it started to rain, and when it rains here, it rains. I was
sitting beside one of the 3 umpires who hails from the city of from Juarez, I think, Well, he was saying that this is very typical this time of year. He was totally unfazed about it, and everybody else in the minibus was going, "Look at this rain! This is outrageous! This is crazy!" And he was just like, "Yeah, this is August in the province of Jalisco. What do you expect?"
I think July and August you tend to get storms. It's normally in the afternoon. Look at that! He's starting early. Well done, lads. You've got to say that is meritorious, and they're very, very big glasses of refreshment you can see here. So people getting in early for what promises to be a thrilling morning of paddle. I'm very interested in this first game because we've seen the two Martas play really well. We've seen moments of really good paddle from Orsi and Sharifova. How are they? Who's going to really? I think this might just depend who's on their best moment today.
Well, we saw yesterday what they're capable of in the first set, Paul. They played really solidly and hugely impressive, both working together really, really well. It was that second set where the doubt started to creep in, and especially relating to Sharifova, we saw a player who just seemed to lose her momentum. She seemed to lose the sense of occasion. Whatever was bothering her just seemed to impacted it on her game of paddle, and there was no way back, ultimately losing the second set and failing to secure any points on the board for the Atlantics. So fingers crossed today that Casina is back, refreshed, ready to go, and with the batteries recharged as the players go through those final words of wisdom from the coaching duo.
One thing we'll say about New York is they are really integrated. Well, I think everyone here is, and they're all really nice. We were on the coach with the Volts, and you know they're sort of a young team. One of the big things that Houston has, the ethos of the team, is to have young players, and you can just see there's such a really good relationship between the players. And New York, maybe they're a bit older, a bit more experienced, but they also make the effort. They're all there at the same table at breakfast, aren't they? They are like, you know, a unit.
Yeah, I mean, if you were to ask me which team comes across as the most unified, and I also think it's to do, they're all wearing their team uniform together, they're sitting together, there's a kind of a good chemistry, there's a good team spirit developing. You saw them in the training course earlier on, they're all in there together doing their thing, they sit together, and certainly a team that transmits that kind of sense of unity.
Yeah, them and Cancun as well, it has to be said. They're a unit, although with a few little moments of tension, which we saw yesterday, but as a group, and also with fans and everything and owners, Cancun are also to be envied. Okay, we're getting ready to go. It's going to be the Volts to get us going. Marta Caparros, 1m83, one of the biggest hitters in women's paddle. And we're on a big court, on a fast court. Whee! And the ball will fly, as you saw there, love 15. Let's just remind you that the Volts didn't play yesterday, so they've had an extra day to acclimatise, to maybe catch up on that sleep. And to rest up.
Yeah, they were in action on Thursday night, Paul, in that opening game against the Miami Paddle Club,
beating Sandra Beiver
and Laia Rodriguez, who again was another name that caught the eye. Laia certainly in that second set.
Well, we'll see them in the start of the afternoon session. Okay, needed that point. 15:30.
Possibly the most difficult game of the day, Paul, the opening day, I feel.
15:40, misses that volley. Yeah, it's 11 o'clock start here, local time, so
reasonably early.
It's reasonably early. It's not super early. I mean, there's lots of paddle tournaments where the first match starts at 10. But yeah, I think sometimes just obviously you got the fans coming in during the match. Maybe it's a little bit harder to start absolutely laser focused.
Yeah, I think that, again, that's why it's imperative to try and get out of the blocks quickly, get some points on the board, and start to just get that rhythm that you look to strive to build during the course of a game.
Nice off the back wall there from Sharifova, but that just goes a little bit longer. So first game, first golden point. How many golden points did we have yesterday, Paul?
I've lost count at this stage, Paul. I think we've certainly had more than 20. We're possibly hitting the 25 mark now, but yeah, it's a lot of golden points.
The New York the Atlantic's bench leading the clapping there ahead of this first golden point and first break point, of course, of the match. Well played, Marta Barrera. Once again, that side of the court where if you've watched paddle with us over the last few days, you know that if it goes into that cage area at the side, it's very, very hard to judge. So, having to work for it, but holding serve in the first set there, Marta Caparros.
My big question ahead of today, Paul, is will we see patterns developing? Yesterday we saw so many games follow such a traditional pattern. Certainly in the first game we saw plenty of breaks of service. We saw teams winning their first set, slipping in the second, taking things to a super tie. And will we see...
Well, actually, they've broken straight away. They've broken the pattern because they held serve on the
exactly.
On the
that's
game.
What I was going to say.
Whoa.
Will we see today repeat what we saw yesterday? 'Cause there was points yesterday you could write the script.
Yeah, they won the set. Now they're going to lose this game.
And everything will be resolved on a super tie break.
Oh, and look at them at Barrera. Couldn't quite get it back over the net. Looks to just help that one around, but doesn't, so 40 love. It's a good start here for Carolina Orsi. Ooh, just in. Oh, that's a nice return there from Sharifova. Unlucky.
Double bounce,
Yeah.
very unfortunate.
So it's a great shot to get it back actually over the net, and then Caparros' effort just clips that net cord. And
There's a determination about Sharifova that I'm seeing already that I didn't see yesterday, and I think maybe she is very reminiscent of what happened and is determined to put things right, Paul.
yeah, you could tell she had a game where she sort of made 2 errors, then she had a little bit of bad luck, and it just clearly got into her head, didn't it?
Yeah. I mean, that's natural. I mean, these people are not machines. These people are human beings with emotions, and emotions can be very, very powerful. But again, it's the ability of a professional sports person at this level,
I think that's the
to manage the emotions.
Sometimes it's the mental thing that makes the difference.
Again, that's why there's so much investment in sports psychology in every realm of top level sports, Paul. Well, once again, bad luck for Sharifova.
And all of a sudden, another golden point. It's not a bad start, is it? 2 games, 2 more golden points.
Plenty of noise, despite the fact that the arena is not completely full, but there's plenty of noise being generated from the hardy few that are here.
People who have been, there's actually quite a lot of people. We're sat on the opposite side of the dugouts. There's quite a lot of people actually sat in front of us who don't appear on camera.
Yeah, plenty of raucousness already.
And that'll do a lot of good getting that winner there for Sharifova. So 1 game all. Marta Barrera a little bit frustrated she didn't get to that one. Clipped the net anyhow with her racket, so.
Yeah.
Again, right tight close up to the glass. 15 love. Marta Barrera serving.
Into the net once again from Casina. And the serve leading 30 love.
Trying to control the net once again. The two Martas. That's a good lob from Sina. Wow. Does very well to get that one back. That once again just hung in the air a little bit. Just to remind you, we are at 1,500 meters above sea level, so the ball, even though they've had the pressure reduced slightly, it still flies quite more than maybe you would see at sea level.
Yeah, we saw that with some of the big hitters, your Tolitos. They can just knock the ball out of the arena with veritable ease.
And after 2 games gone to golden points, that served out to Love. So our first break, 2-1 to the Volts. Everything going with serve so far. They've told us, the Volts, by the way, they're going to supply us with T-shirts. So I'm hoping for somebody who'll make the come up the steps.
How's your collection coming along?
I've only got Cancun so far, but they were giving them to everybody. So you know, these are a bit more exclusive.
And again, we can start today's commentary, Paul, without asking you, how was your beer experience last night?
That's the pineapple beer. I can inform you, reliable pineapple with some sort of chili sauce beer. It was as good as it sounds, which is really not very good at all. It was 2 sips and down the plug hole. You know, and if I'm throwing beer away, it's because it's really very horrible. Everyone here seems to really like it. They said, "Oh yeah, this is really good." No, it isn't.
Yeah,
no, it isn't.
I would have thought that you would have learnt your lesson after.
See, I think a pineapple and beer I can see being a decent mix. It was that chili sauce added in that just took it into just levels of weirdness. Okay, we've just been told our mathematicians working in there with the algorithms and the logarithms and the calculator and the abacus, they reckon if Houston win 6-2 or better, they are guaranteed to play in the championship match, because that would give them better record than the Stingrays, of course. So 6-2 would take them into the championship match. If they win, they're absolutely certain to go to the podium day one way or another. One way or another, they're going to get you.
I mean, there's so many variables at play today, Paul. It is not a day for mental arithmetic.
No, I think after two long sessions lasting till midnight, there isn't going to be a lot of mental arithmetic from me, Paul. Don't you worry. One thing we've discussed before, Eric and I. Once again, big hug to Eric. Hope get well soon. Get back to 110%. We know he gets up early to have his breakfast. Actually, it's not. It's dinner time now, isn't it, in Madrid? He has his dinner watching us, and then he gets up and has his breakfast watching us. We appreciate that. One of the things we discussed is, if you know you need a certain score, do you change the way you play to try and get that, or do you just play your normal game? If you know, if you know you can't afford to drop more than, say, 4 points, can you adapt to that?
I think you have to, Paul. I think there's no question. If they know that they need to win by 6-2, 6-2 or better, then they will be more aggressive. They'll be less defensive. They will have to change their game plan.
But worse score might still get them through. It depends on later results. But I mean, my point of view is, if you change your way of playing, that means you might actually lose more points. I think you just got to play your normal game and not even think about it.
Yeah, I mean, I think at this outlet of the game, they're probably not thinking that way. They're probably thinking about getting a good momentum together, getting some scores on the board, and then later on, as the game transpires, then maybe that side of the issue comes into play.
Exactly. However, if they drop this game, this game, then straight away, the calculations go a little bit down the Swanee. You just got to win. I think you just got to win, and then what happens, happens. Sharifova unleashes one. Well played, Ksenia.
I mean, let's not forget, at the end of the day, there is not place on the podium for 10 teams. Not everybody can progress to Sunday, so that's a factor too. There will be winners, there will be losers.
That's the nature of competitive sport.
Yeah.
Okay, 40-30 Little chat there between the two Martas. Here's that one. Little dink, and Marta Caparros takes a bit of a risk off the back of the court, and that is 2 games all.
Always, always, always a risky shot, Paul, because it's kind of you're taking
too many variables.
You're taking things out of your control. You're not in charge anymore. You're relying on the wall. That wall can be very predictable. It can, if the ball's.
It's not really warm in here. It's not cold. It's not hot, but it is humid. I say it absolutely rained cats and dogs earlier on.
It just brings a level of unpredictability into your play, and I think that's what a professional player does not want to do, is invoke the gods of unpredictability.
Exactly. Anyhow, Marta Caparros serving. Second serve. First one went a wee bit long. Looks for the bajada. Once again, puts it high. Is that just in? Plays a bit safer there, Sharifova, and it's just a fraction long.
Well, I think she was hesitant there whether to smash or go for accuracy, and in the end it was a kind of a hybrid of nothing, neither a smash nor a.
Just that tiny bit long. If it had been just a fraction shorter, it would have been a great shot actually. But if pots and pans, if ifs and ands were pots and pans, as my grandma used to say, there'd be no work for tinkers. There you go. Don't hear phrases like that very often now.
No.
Probably due to the lack of tinkers. Okay, 30 love.
That's better from
That's
Sharifova.
well played, yeah.
Whoa.
30-15.
Just a little bit of hesitation there between the two Martas over that shot that went in between both, about who was to play it.
Ooh, just long. No video, by the way, here, so it's down to the honesty of the players and the hawk eye of the referee, as opposed to the hawk eye camera. Nice lob there from Carolina. Muy mata Barrera. Just forearms that into the net. 30 all.
Just a little team talk there, availing of the available time allocated.
20 seconds between points is what you're allowed. Ooh, once again, once he starts going around the corner like that, you're in difficulty. And there, Carolina Orsi went for a very narrow angle, which didn't quite exist. 40-30 to Marta Caparros, finding it hard work on her serve again.
That's a few times like Casina's been caught out by the corner of that double glass and that lack of space to swing the racket.
Once again called out. That's gone long. And so 3 games to 2. All pretty close games. Apart from one served out to love and into our next break. Diego the Houston coach from the region of Asturias in the north of Spain. Was probably coach of the US paddle, the junior paddle team, I think.
That's Diego Pezzoni, no?
Yeah.
Very Italian-sounding name for a man from Asturias.
Yeah, with an Italian surname, I thought he might be. I quickly thought, oh, is he Argentinian? But he's from Asturias, from Oviedo, I think.
Really?
Very nice city if you're in the north of Spain. Very nice.
Yeah, some people are either Gijón fans, and I'm not talking about football here. This is not a football aside, but in terms of cities, I prefer Gijón with the beach.
It's got a beach, you see, hasn't it? Yeah.
And that for me is always a winning factor. Asturias is a bit more.
It's very green.
Yeah. But Oviedo it's a bit more señorial. How would you say that? A bit more.
Aye, they've got a bit more money.
They have.
Gijón's a bit more down to earth, isn't it? Oviedo, people wear fur coats.
Yeah.
From October onwards.
It's
not that cold either.
Former industrial port. But anyway, both places wonderful cities and well recommended.
And very, very good food, I'm going to be honest.
Always a good sign to see players back on the court first. It shows a sign of eagerness.
Yep. Okay, Carolina Orsi serving again. 3-2, they're down, but everything going with serves so far in this opening match of the third day of competition here in the Pro Paddle League in Guadalajara, Mexico. We've come to the home of paddle for this, and quite right too. Well, where paddle was invented anyhow, and where it wanted is becoming incredibly popular. 15 love, couldn't keep that one in there, Marta Caparros. Trying to control the net here, the Volts. Lovely stuff there from the two Martas. Dominated that point, didn't they?
They had both the New York players on the ropes throughout the whole point, and ultimately, just edging their way towards the net. It's all about taking the net. That is the key to success, to not ultimately win every single point in the game of paddle, but those who take the net,
you've got a good chance.
Generally prevail.
That's what played from Senia. 30-15.
Certainly one of the first lessons when you start to get into paddle as a recreational player. The coach will say to you, get to the net, serve, get to the net, shoot, get to the net.
40-15. And there is the game, 3-all. Parity all the way at the moment between the Atlantics and the Volts.
I think it's been the key word here, Paul, since we arrived in Guadalajara, since game one on Thursday. We've seen really tight matches. We've seen very few games that have been, foregone conclusions or games that you can kind of see
the only really clear win was yesterday. The
last night, yeah. Arkansas Patty
against the Stingrays.
Exactly.
Here's Barrera serving. And looks for the bajada, Marta Caparros. Into the net, so love 15. Once again, they saw New York advancing together to the net. One of the things is, of course, if you do go to the net, you've got to go basically as a pair. Otherwise, you just leave a big space.
Well, I was just going to say another thing when we talk about learning paddle. you're playing your own game, but you also have to watch your partner because you have to work in tandem. You can't be at the net with your partner at the baseline. You have to be at the serving line, I should say. You have to be working as a unit.
Exactly. Well down there from Caparros. Down to Sharifova's feet. 15 all.
That's a great shot. Absolutely great shot from Karolina. Beautifully measured, beautifully weighted. Just out of reach for Marta. Whoa, what a reply.
30 all, another one of those really close. Well driven down there by Marta Barrera, 40-30.
Straight at Sharapova, giving her no option to react.
Sorry, you've got to pay the fine.
I do, I just
You've
said
got to pay the fine.
I said the P word. Oh my word.
Sharifova. We have it, you owe me, the next beer's yours, mate.
Oh.
Tomorrow night.
Yeah, again, that's another Freudian slip. You see that Sharifova, who trails with Karolina Orsi by 4-3 against the Marta duo. We just mentioned that yesterday, Paul, and now we were like, imagine if some commentator called her Sharipova.
Well,
just imagine, Paul.
I'll be having an IPA, thank you.
With tomato?
No,
with
there'll be no tomato or salt or anything like that. Anyhow, 4-3 with the volts, everything still going to, with serve, 24 minutes gone. She's, by the way, Ksenia Sharipova came to Spain when she was 16, wasn't she? Lived in Valencia ever since. Valencia, which, if you're a Star Wars fan and you watched the last series of Andor, the Senate building and all the area around the Senate, it's all filmed in the City of Arts and Science in Valencia.
I mean, she's another one of these players who transitioned from tennis. She originally moved there to progress her career in the world of tennis. Wasn't aware of paddle. Obviously, paddle is a emerging sport in Russia, and made the transition and is slowly building a reputation for herself on the circuit. As you say, she is climbing steadily.
In the top, she's just moved into the top 30 now, but she was like a year ago, I think she was down ranked 70 something. I think her parents are from Vladivostok in Siberia, either, which probably isn't conducive to outdoor courts in winter.
No.
Anyhow, here she is serving, Ksenia Sharipova. I think if I was the Volts coach, I would have told the two Martas to try and maybe attack Ksenia on her serve here. Just try and put a bit of, maybe not fear, but just try and play on her confidence a bit. But she's held the first point, 15 love. I think that went a bit long, it did indeed. Second serve.
Obviously with the scoreline too, that possibility of a 6-2, 6-2 looks a little bit remote. With the Atlantics,
you just got to win, haven't you? You just got to win and see what happens.
I think if there's so many permutations, Paul, at play. I think, as you say, you focus on winning your game, and then you look at the scoreboards and statistics and permutation and who needs to do what. Because
I think you look at who's won, because obviously, for example, the Beat won yesterday, Barbara and Julia Polo, but they dropped a set. So if they win in straight sets, straight away you're better than they are in terms of getting to the final.
Yeah, first win, then win well, and then see what happens.
Exactly. 15 all.
Very expressive player, Cassina, no?
Cassina, yeah. He goes a wee bit long. 15-30.
Again, the idea was right, and so many times that her idea and her game plan and her strategies are spot on. It's just that little bit of accuracy, a little bit of measurement in terms of her globos. That
once again, I say if you're training in Valencia, where it's quite humid, and you play at sea level, all of a sudden you're in Guadalajara, where to be honest, it's pretty humid, but you're at 1,500 meters. Oh, just long. There is a bit of difference in how the ball will fly as well. Yeah. 30 all. It's going more or less as I expected this match. I thought it would be close.
Whoa.
Well played. 40-30. Once again, just dropping off that back wall. Well played, Carolina Orsi. Drives that one home. 4 games all at the start of the first set as we approach the half-hour mark here in the Domo Code in Guadalajara. I think is it 2,500 capacity if it's completely full here.
For basketball?
We've been pretty close on a couple of occasions.
Yeah. Certainly last night, I would say it was, okay, it wasn't 100% capacity, Paul. There was a really, really good big crowd. And the atmosphere was just fantastic. During that Tolito game with the Cancun Waves against Los Angeles, it was a really special time.
Well blocked. Turns that one down well. And I think it's one of those that didn't bounce that high, so she just gave it a little bit more, and 15 love. Ooh.
Top of the racket there.
And well played. 15-30.
That's more like it from Sharifova. It's never nice, Paul, to see a player suffer on court. And I think yesterday my heart went out to Cassina to see how she was struggling, getting into that kind of spiral where nothing was coming off her. And again, it's really gratifying to see her deliver those big shots today, because you don't want to see a repeat of a player struggle and suffer on the court.
No. We're not here to see people suffer at all. There's no enjoyment in that at all. I think even if you're a rival, you don't want to see somebody suffer. He snatches at that one a little bit. 40-30. Which is where I think they're your partners as well is important, and the dugout, and I say the unity of the Atlantics. And the good thing about paddle at this tournament as well is you have one bad day, and if it's a normal tournament, a knockout tournament, you're out and you have to wait a week till your next game. In this, you can pick yourself up and you're back again tomorrow. So, if you want to get yourself up and running again, there you go. 5-4. Still everything going with serve. Carolina Orsi serving to stay in the set when we come back. Just hear Marta Caparros saying, look, hit the lob there. Not quite sure where exactly she said it had to be hit, but...
Well, that was the first time we've been able to pick up a little bit more from the dugouts, if you like.
We're a little bit higher up than we normally are in our commentary position, which has its pros and its cons. You get a really good view where we are. We've got a great view of the court as a whole. But the pitch side microphones aren't quite picking up what the players are saying to each other. And sometimes it's a good insight to hear. I'd have loved to have been able to listen to the Waves bench last night. Love 15. And we'll play 15 all.
Just inches away from getting a racket to that. Good shot from Sina.
Looking to dominate the net here. The Atlantics. Ooh, that's a bit of a cruel blow, isn't it, to happen at that moment? The sort of thing that happened to a couple of times yesterday. 15-30. Fortune favouring the Volts there.
Yeah, there's the intervention of the net and the intervention of the cage. They can be cruel. It's all part of the game.
That is a sort of a you are kidding me look, isn't it?
Yeah.
We all of a sudden makes a bit of a mess of that one, Carolina Orsi, and we have 3 break points and 3 set points for the Volts. Tell you what, if you're going to have break points, this is probably the moment you'd want them, isn't it? No comeback if they take them. And that's not a good shot. That is I'll tell you what, my companion, Mr. Paul Reedy, has just got his head in his hands after that one. I think he's feeling Fesenia there. But there is the first set for the Houston Volts, 6-4. And if you you're going to get 1 break point, all set, that is the moment, isn't it?
That is a huge body blow for the Atlantics, Paul. Cruel way to slip up at the end of this first set and hand the advantage to the opposition. But again, I think over the balance of the first set, the Volts have been the more consistent side, playing a more measured caliber of paddle. We've seen flashes of genius from both Carolina and from Cassina, but we haven't seen enough regularity.
Yeah, we see exactly. I think that is just what you're saying is correct. I mean, they've just been more consistent, and we've seen some great shots from Sharifova and Orsi, but we've also seen a few more unforced errors. And in the end, I think it's just keeping the errors out of your game is definitely one of the big factors.
100%. I mean, if the other team can do you favors by conceding points, it makes life so much easier. You look after your own game, of course, but obviously the idea in paddle is to make the returns as complicated as possible for your opponents. But with a shot like that from Sharifova right close to the net, and it goes straight into the net, yeah. It's disappointing from a Atlantic's point of view. But the big question at this outlet, Paul, is will the patterns that were developed yesterday come into play?
Well, exactly. Can the Atlantics bounce back? To be fair, yesterday they lost in straight sets. It was two very close sets against the Polar Bears. It was 6-4, 6-4, and so far this is, if we're talking about patterns, following the same pattern.
.38 minutes of action in the opening game on day 3 here in Guadalajara.
As it was in the first set, it was Marta Caparros to get us underway, and to get us underway with 15 love. Difficult return that, because it was really close to the side of the court. I say our lovely Adidas court, used in the Pro Paddle League. That lovely black playing surface, contrasting very, very well with the gold surround.
Anytime we've walked down courtside, Paul, I have a huge temptation and a huge urge to grab a racket and get on that court.
You're on there tomorrow, aren't you, post-match?
Well, if the opportunity arises, then they may just take a veil of the opportunity. No, it looks absolutely immaculate, Paul.
That's a nice little chiquita there from Carolina Orsi. Digs that one out very well there, Sharifova.
Oh. I also imagine there are a few traditionalists who are a paddle court must be blue brigade.
I remember a couple of years, I think the first match I ever commentated, it was an event and they used the black court for the first time, and as a publicity event somebody ran onto the court and handcuffed themselves to the pole.
You're joking.
No, in protest at the change of colour. And it was all a stunt, because they just happened to have some some cutters there.
Okay.
Because you tend to have metal cutters in your paddle court, and after about 5 or 10 minutes they sort of cut him off, so to speak.
That's quite creative, I have to say. Actually,
yeah.
That's quite. I like the marketing thought behind that.
Because when you're commentating and you sort of 4 hours into the session, you think you just cut his arm off or something, get on with it. 30 all. Well played. Time to think about that, and sometimes you might not want to think about those sort of shots too often, but hey, guess what? Starting off with the break point against the pair that won the opening set.
That's been the perfect response. Too long.
15 long. So another golden point, as we had in the opening game of the first set. And who's going to receive? It'll be obviously the
Carolina.
Carolina chooses to receive. You can nominate who receives the serve on your golden point. Well played. I tell you, it's a great shot from Marta Barrera. You may have thought it wasn't that good, but she put loads of effect on that, didn't you? And it made it very hard for Carolina Orsi to control off her racket. So the Volts hold serve after taking the first set.
I've always wondered, Paul, that if you're selected as the player to receive, does that mean your opponent sees you as a weaker option?
No, you choose. It's the team that receives that opts. So it's Carolina Orsi that says, I'm receiving.
Right, gotcha.
Yeah, exactly. So Yeah, that'd be really harsh if it was the team that served, wouldn't it? We want you. Yeah, I don't think that is
a little bit cruel, possibly.
Exactly.
You can just appreciate how tall Caparros is when she stands beside Barrera. 183.
Yep. Taller than me.
I was going to say possibly one of the tallest players in the women's side here in Guadalajara.
Yeah, I'm just thinking, I wonder, she's not here, but I wonder how tall Gemma 3i is. I think she's 180-ish, isn't she?
I think Patti and Lucia are quite tall too. And Riseda, she's also, Virginia Riseda is also quite a tallish player.
Senia Carrot, she's 177, Sharifova. I thought she was a bit taller.
Oh, that was long.
40 love. Gemma's only 173. Well played, Carolina Orsi. I think they needed that game.
100%.
Served out to love, 1 game all.
Early birds here at the Dome Cod Arena.
43 minutes in, so it's approaching midday here in Guadalajara. At the moment, Houston votes 6-4. They took the first set against the New York Atlantics. We didn't quite read that one. Love 15.
Actually, the temperature today in the
cooler,
in the arena is actually, I was just going to say there, it's probably the most temperate and pleasant it's been since we've been here.
Nice lob right into the corner. Atlantic's looking to take the net. A bit of frustration there from Carolina as well. There you saw as that shot from her partner went into the side of the court. 15 all. Because it worked that point quite well, New York.
Yeah, they were on the back foot and slowly edged back in, and were just starting to put themselves in a position to strike. And capitalising on that, 30-15. Whoa. Driven with venom there from Marta Barrera. Not a great deal that Carolina Orsi could do about that. Puts the return into the net. 40-30, still a bit of work to do here for Marta Barrera. Stretching for it, didn't quite get enough on it there. Sharifova.
2 games to 1. So that another time, little break, little chat with the coaches again. And meanwhile, we'll just have a quick look in a moment or two of the heat map from the first set, which was claimed by the Houston Volts. 6-4. That's quite interesting, isn't it, Paul? It looks, it's lots of play from the back, sort of from, well, not, I wouldn't say at the net that much, but
not at all,
edging more forward in that area which is known as no man's land. So there you go. Yeah, quite a lot of the play from deep, 42%, and then 46 from that middling zone. Anyhow, 6-4 to the Volts. Only one, very few break points. A couple of golden points, it's true to say, but break points with a couple of options to break right at the end of the set.
I think the game is there for the taking for the two Martas at the moment. They need to maintain this momentum and keep putting the Atlantic's players under pressure. Again, we use the word consistency a lot, Paul, when we talk about the sport, and that's what we're seeing this morning from the two Martas. Just this level of consistency where there's more erratic play from Carolina and from Ksenia. And I think that's going to be the key to the eventual outcome, if they can just keep that.
Exactly. Sooner or later they'll think their time will come. It is Ksenia serving. To get everything going with serve at the start of the second set. So played in at the corner. 15 love.
Exactly. Just keep faithful with the game plan. I like the way they take those little timeouts too, and just reset and just slow things down.
Yeah, I think if you've served and you've won the point, you probably want to take another. You get on with it quickly, don't you?
Exactly. It's also a strategy. It's I don't want to call it a time-wasting strategy, but it is a tactic.
Nice well played. Chiquita right down to Marta Barrera's feet. 30 love.
Possible to return a shot like that. Hit at that level, right to the feet. That's not coming back.
Again, just taking a little moment. And once again, second serve. Just in. Nicely played, but okay, the points won with Carolina hitting the ball at Marta, and Marta Barrera having a little chuckle about it. But I think it was the play it was this ball really from Ksenia, which
created the opening.
Yeah, exactly. She's not hit hard, is it? Just whoop-ah.
No.
And they both have a little chuckle about it. Helped on the corner there by Marta Caparros. Opts not to go for power. And again, that's really well placed. And they were both badly out of position after that shot from Marta Caparros. And Marta Barrera does very well to win the point.
That shot from Ksenia was absolutely wonderful. Her ability to readjust and to react.
And there we go. So 2 games all. I think she's a little bit, although maybe not quite with the, how can I put it, with the pent-up anger in her that someone like Sophie Scythe has. But I think it is a lot of, she's certainly got the ability, hasn't she? It's just a question of controlling maybe confidence.
100%. I mean, there is the makings of a wonderful player there, because she's got the technique, she's got the shots, she's got the versatility, and it's just that emotional side that she needs to just rein in occasionally. I mean, you're going to hit bad shots, you're going to make mistakes, but it's how you manage that. I think that makes the great from the very good.
It's pretty effective from Caparros. Serve, smack, 15-love. That's slid away, hasn't it? Yeah, once again. Awkward to return. Didn't get a racket quite around it.
But again, every credit to the serve.
Yep.
For creating that situation.
We saw some vicious, well, not for speed, but just for difficulty from Marina Lobo yesterday.
Yeah.
Surfing was really hard to return. Right up close against the glass. That's not gone. And well played from Marta Barrera. Once again, just running away down the side of the court. 40-love.
Yeah, there was the service from Marina Lobo, and there was also Alex Chotha's ability to launch his back and bend his back into a very contortionist-esque position to deliver those big smashes.
Oh yeah, I mean, I think if I tried that these days, I'd have to go on. I'd have to be laid out flat on the plane ride home.
Paul, we do not want to try a shot like that. I can
big
guarantee.
brace around me.
Long 40-15.
Call that one out. And as is the case, never any real questioning of the call from another player.
Just one incident. Well, we had two actually yesterday with Sophia.
That was about a racket, wasn't it?
It was hitting the net, and then we had a Chothas incident last night in the final game.
We spoke to the umpire about it. What did he say? What would the issue
He said he challenged him about a previous shot, and the umpire was saying, "Well, hang on,
that was a minute ago."
Exactly. It's like I'm not going to play it, rewind the play, because at that moment in time we weren't actually sure what the incident was.
I couldn't quite hear what he was saying. Well played, Marta Barrera. So 3-2. Very, very similar to the first set. Everything going with serve as we go into our next little break here in Guadalajara. Just looking down as you're seeing if you replace the New York Atlantics male pair of Lucas Campagnolo and Juan Tello, they just picked up their kit bags, in Tello's case just his racket, and they're going to stroll across to the practice court just to do a little bit of limbering up. And the Houston Volts owner there behind us. Still waiting for that t-shirt to come up here. No worry.
You gonna have enough space in your bag to go back, Paul? Well, all this
t-shirt doesn't take
merchandise
doesn't take up any room, does it?
I can see you tomorrow, hoovering up merchandise.
My ambition for the rest of my career is to not have to buy more clothes and just to use.
I've got what I want. I came from my Charros de Jalisco baseball cap, and that was in the basket on.
I wonder what cap these
Thursday morning.
Stingrays have been quite interesting, haven't they? We'll see them both, the men and the women, in tomorrow's podium day. They've won different caps, haven't they, for each match so far? Will they have another team that they will have been? Whoops-a-daisy.
Well, they've got the day off today, so they can shop till they drop.
Go out or just do a bit of PR. We'll wear your hat on court, and everyone in the court will love you. They'll love us.
But that's the thing, you can't go wrong with the Charros de Jalisco, because if you decide to wear a Chivas hat here, you're going to ruffle the feathers of Atlas fans, and vice versa. So opting for Charros is a perfect.
Charros being baseball, isn't it?
Yeah, Charros being the baseball team from Guadalajara, as opposed to wearing one of the football teams.
Into the net. So it's Carolina Orsi serving, by the way. 3-2 down and 15-love up in this game. Just had the legs on it. Hit that from quite deep as well. 15 all. Missing that volley. It's quite low, wasn't it, to try and get... Actually, it wasn't that low, but it was dipping. That's much better.
Oh.
Marta, I tell you, she just got her angle well.
So
she just
unlucky.
couldn't quite get there. It was obviously just in line with the glass as opposed to the door. Never fails to impress me how people can run out of that gap with a big post in the middle at full speed
And connect.
and while watching a ball fly without basically ending up in hospital. 40-15. Presuming at your level people don't really run out very
I have
often.
never played a game where any player at my level, which is a very modest and discreet level, has run out of the court and returned the ball.
Nice lob. And smashes that one into the net. 3 games all. Just approaching the hour mark. 58 minutes. Once again, we're getting through the games quite quickly, aren't we? So that's 10, 16 games in 58 minutes. Once again, under 4 minutes a game, including the little breaks between.
Certainly is. And it's a bit premature to make a call about how, if this one will go the full way where we need tie breaks, super tie breaks. That's still, I feel, a little bit premature. Big celebration for that point from the Russo-Italia duo. And the two Martas taking time to just take some sting out of the moment.
It's gone long. Nice little return there. Oof. That's really brave from Marta Barrera and really, really well carried out. 15 all, because that went up a long way.
Marta Barrera does play with a little swagger of confidence ball, doesn't she?
I think the thing about 13-15, the thing about the two Martas is they're on a roll. They were 3rd place in San Sebastian, so they won their matches, all 3. They won their opening here, and you know, they're looking good here, they're looking good value.
Straight to the legs of Sharifova.
40-15.
Again, 4-3 is always a slightly psychological important lead.
Once again, if you get a break, then you serve for the match. If. Well played, just in. Gets a little point of the racket from her teammate. well played, Marta Caparros. It's gone quite a long way out as well. So 4-3, 7 games in this second set. Everything going with serve. It's going to be Ksenia Sharifova to serve when we're back.
There was a brief moment of hesitation there, just leading up to that shot where there was a ball hit down the service line, and with Orsi being a left-hander and Sharifova being a right-hander, there was that hesitation about whose shot is that. I don't know if you saw that, Paul, in the second thing, and that's always a risk when you play. Obviously, from an equilibrium point of view, a right-hander and a left-hander playing together is excellent, but it does create those moments of doubt over shots that are hit
especially if you don't play together on that regular basis. By the way, it's another factor is the two Martas, I think, I'll have to recheck my notes, do play in other tournaments together. Yeah, they do play together in other tournaments other than the Pro Paddle League, which obviously helps their understanding, and I think you can see that very well on court as well.
Again, I think we've seen how many games now. We're on our 13th game in the space of 3 days.
It's number 13, yeah.
And you can see quite clearly and quite quickly chemistry levels between players. You can see how well they gel.
See, that's something I agree. And something that maybe, even though they're both top players, between Lucas Campagnolo and Teo yesterday, do they gel particularly well?
Yeah.
Although they've obviously got all the shots.
Again, going back to the thing about gelling together, out of all the players we've seen, the relationship that I most feel is the most positive is the Jensen-Sainz relationship.
Look very good, yeah.
That nice dynamic, and again, I don't want to go on to this, the big sister thing, but the responsibility and the experience that Lucia exudes to Carolina Jensen is for me, is why they're such a good duo.
Dirty love.
And still remain my tip for the tournament. Big winner from Marta.
30-15.
Oh.
40-15.
Time to get your salmon analogy out there, Paul. Did like that the other day. It was very graphic.
Yes. I'm not going to make any comment about that.
Great shot from Carolina. Keeping things interesting.
So 4-all again. Once again, nice shot, dives down there on the just goes out. see if Claudia Jensen had played with Lucia Sainz before. She's played with Salazar, with Claudia Mesa. Just gets a little...
Did she get a touch? Nope.
Nope, I think it might have just brushed her forearm, but not... Jess Castello, but I'm not sure she's played with Lucia Sainz. Into the net, 30-15.
And then even more credit to the way that they've managed to create this harmony so quickly.
And out. When it hits that back cage, which takes it to 4 metres at the back of the court, there's always a little bit of doubt about how the ball's going to behave.
There's that unpredictability. If it strikes here too, you just don't know which way it's going to bounce back. Sometimes the speed is killed and it dies a little bit.
That's gone long. It has indeed. So there is another game. Everything. This is like Groundhog Day, isn't it? With the first set, everything going with serve 6-5, and it'll be Carolina Orsi once again serving to stay in the match. Last time they were broken, the Atlantics. Will they be able to take it to 5-all?
All the advice aimed at Christina.
Okay, Carolina Orsi. Oh. And once again, that cursed back of the court. Well played. 15-love. Scoops that one up, just stays in. Carolina Orsi does well there. Once again puts a bit of lob in. Opts to stay deep. I thought she might come forward to the net there. Way too much on it. 30-love.
Very well worked point from New York there, Paul. The way they just moved the other duo around, just looking for that bit of space, being defensive when they had to be, and then relying on the error from Marta. Caparros in that question. Sorry, Barrera. It was Barrera.
Barrera.
Yeah.
And well played by Marta Caparros.
Those defensive returns from Fasina need to be much deeper, Paul. She's not giving her team an advantage. She's putting themselves in danger by just launching the ball here rather than looking for the backcourt.
It's that area. Maybe against most players you'd be okay there, but against Marta Caparros.
Yeah.
It's in. A little bit deeper, so she opts not to smash. That's decent. That's a good one.
That's more like it.
Very
exactly,
good.
Yeah.
And that's in.
Ooh, it's difficult.
Responding well here, Sharifova.
And again, it's just that consistent level of defensive play,
Yeah.
bit by bit, probing. Eventually, your opponent will make a mistake.
She's looking for a really difficult shot with the angle. It's just a repeat of the earlier error in the game.
I mean, she has got those shots in her locker. It just needs to be a little bit more consistent and avoid, obviously, giving the likes of Barrera an opportunity to take a smack at it.
Gets over. So again, puts that one high. Sharifova goes for it. Just maybe a bit deep for the smash, and hits Orsi. So 40-30, still life in this game. That was just a little bit deep maybe there for Sharifova to really look for a winner.
Those shots, if you don't get them right, Paul, you can take an offensive momentum and straight away give the advantage to your opponents.
Look how she's quite a long way back there.
Again, that's a perfect range for the opposing side.
Lops to leave it. Once again, playing well here. And this should be the point for Orsi. It is indeed 5 games all. Once again, get into this very, very decisive moment in the set where any error could well cost you the match.
I don't know if you saw the gesture from Carolina, straight away pointing to Sharifova, saying, you won that point. That was not me winning the point, although she won the point.
I know what you mean. Going to be Marta Barrera to serve.
Again, we've seen this time after time here. Very, very, very little to choose between both sides, Paul.
Absolutely.
And again, it's still, I would be a very brave man who would call it at this juncture of the match.
Well played. This time he does get it right. 15 love. Puts that into the net. 15 all.
An ambitious shot. You could see what you're trying to do. Just drop it over the net.
Once again, that's a loose shot. 15:30, Sharifova, the coach. Come on. The Atlantic's coach is a little window of opportunity. And is the window of opportunity going to change the pendulum of momentum?
That is a rhetoric question, Mr. Giblin. No, I would say it's more than a small window. This is a huge opportunity.
Given the way this set has gone.
Exactly. This is key moment of the match.
So close. She believes it was a little bit easier after that one, Marta.
Yeah, Casina just once again needed to get her slide rule out there and measure those globos.
That was really close. Oof.
Again, hesitation.
Sorry, that was down the corridor of uncertainty.
Yeah.
40-30.
A great shot, but it did create that uncertainty about whose initiative, who was the responsible person to take the return. And that window has gotten a little bit smaller.
Still, if they force a golden point, there'd still be a chance to break. Well played, Marta Caparros. It was a very good serve.
Exactly.
Very good serve. Not a lot that Sharifova could do with that one, and Caparros kills the point. 6-5. No pressure when we get back. It's either a tie break or 7-5. Well, they've taken their chance before in the first set. Will the two Martas. And once again, this is important for them, because if they win in straight sets, it'll be 2 straight set wins. So just a moment of doubt. Was it straight sets they won in yesterday?
It was on Thursday, I believe, and it was 6-1, 7-6 Paul against the Miami.
So, you know, if you want to have a chance to get to the final, you really need to win in straight sets. So if it goes to a super tie break, that I don't think it'd stop them getting to podium day, but it might mean the options of actually playing for the title would disappear.
And that's the thing, it's the first 2 teams who go straight into the final. Third and fourth play
2 wins, and then it's obviously who's not dropped sets, and then it would go down to games. So you know it's going to be, get your calculators out. But if you drop a set, you're very unlikely that you're going to be in the podium day for first and second.
Yeah.
Well played, 15-love. Controlled that point.
Yeah, all as a result of a very, very strong first service. Can you get your serve right? You can then, it's the first building block in creating.
That was a good serve as well, 30-love. Real determination here from Ksenia Sharifova. good lob as well. I think Marta Barrera, was that one of those sort of 30 love shots, that wasn't it? You think, okay, we'll go for it, 40 love.
Well, I think they've seen there's a weakness there in that kind of central channel, if you like, and she looked to take advantage of that. And
into the net. That's well played, well worked. 40-15.
Tension levels you can feel are just growing a bit higher, Paul. You can feel it from the crowd too. There's a kind of a tension, like a nervous tension.
Very quiet when this game started, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Uy, 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 40-30, well played, the two Martas. Want to get this over the line. I think if you're Sharifova, you really want to get this one over the line now. Good serve. Oh, just died on her. And all of a sudden, golden point and a match point. This is once again, you know, this is where your confidence comes into play, isn't it? You thought you had it there, and all of a sudden, it's a match point on your serve.
It's amazing the way that this sport can twist and turn on small moments, Paul.
So is it going to be match point, game over, or are we going to go into a tie-break?
We need to see a good first serve from Cassina.
And
that is not it.
Isn't it, as you say? Oh, what a shame for her, but what a fight back in that last game for the Volts. That was electric. I thank you. 6-4, 7-5, the Houston Volts, just when it looked as if we were going to go into a tie-break. Win 4 consecutive points, receiving serve. And that is 2 wins out of 2 in straight sets. That's really, really important for the Volts. That keeps their chances of playing first and second alive.
And some big celebrations, Paul. They're absolutely delighted with themselves.
Yeah, we'll see them again tomorrow. Which means if they don't give me my T-shirt today, then I'll have a second bite at it tomorrow. Actually, you're up for one as well, so...
I mean, if somebody offers you a free T-shirt, Paul, what are you going to say?
Exactly. Anyhow, well done, the Houston Volts. The two Martas once again book a ticket for podium day.
And once again, there's a vulnerability about that central space for Orsina and Sharifova.
I feel sorry though for Sharifova, because once again she must have thought, this is it, this is great, we're looking good, we're on a roll. There, just rushes it a little bit, doesn't she? She seems to. So the Volts win our first match of the session.
Cannot recall scenes of elation here in Guadalajara, Paul, since we started our...
No, the waves yesterday when Maxi and Franco won, they were also rather happy. Anyhow, they're making their way over to have a word with our woman in white, Pia, who will carry out the court-side interview, which unfortunately will be in Spanish. Okay, take it away, Pia. Thank you.
Pues me encuentro con las ganadoras de este primer partido de viernes, Marta y Marta de Houston Volts. Pues un partido muy trabado, la verdad.
Sí, la verdad que, bueno, lo primero de todo, gracias a todo el público por venir y nada, muy contenta de luchar con este equipo.